In part 2 of lesson 3.3, we're going to go ahead and look at interest formula. The interest formula we know is principal times rate, our interest rate times our time, equals the interest earned. Principal is the amount invested, rate is the interest rate, and we put it as a decimal. Time is time in years. So sometimes if it gives us in months, we have to change that to years, and it would be a fraction of a year, and then equals the interest earned. As I mentioned in the first part, now that we can use systems of equations, these types of problems can be a little bit easier. So here we go. Mr. Perry has a total of $10,000 invested in two accounts. The older account pays 8%, while the new one pays 10%. Pretty good percentages. How much does he have invested in each account if his total annual interest income is $850? Well, as we read through this, hopefully you're picking out, like, what's the question here? And it says, how much does he have invested in each account? Those are the unknowns. So what we can do here is, we don't know how much. We know he has a total of 10,000. Is it split evenly? Is it 5,000 one, 5,000 the other? Is it 40-60 or something like that? So that's what we're trying to find. So let's let x equal the amount in the older account. So that's the 8% interest account. We're just going to put that in here in the 8% account. And then we'll let y equal the amount in the 10% or the newer account. All right. Once again, we're going to set up a table. In this table, we have a principal, a rate, a time, and the interest earned. And if you remember when we did these, we actually had a totals column. I think we can squeeze it in here. Oh, it's small. We have our 8% account. We have the 10% account. It's going to be this next one. And then we have total. And so our principal in the 8% account, how much is in the 8% account? Actually, we don't know. That's what we're trying to find, and we let that equal x. This is a nice, easy question. What's the interest rate of the 8% account? Well, that's 8%, and we put that as a decimal, so 0.08. What's the time? Total of 10,000 invested in two accounts. The older account pays 8%, while the new one pays 10%. How much does he have invested in each account of his total annual interest income is $850. Well, I didn't see a time directly given to us anywhere in there, but actually it was. It says total annual interest, and that means 1 year. And so our time is 1 year, and we know interest is these things multiplied together, so x times 0.08 times 1, our interest earned is 0.08x. 10% account, our skinny column here, our skinny row, our principal is y. We don't know what that one is. Interest rate is 10%, so 0.10. Well, turns out if it's 0.10, we don't need that 0 there, so just 0.1. Still annual interest, so this is 1, and multiplying these all together, we get 0.1y. And this totals column here, what's the total principal, total amount invested? Well, that's $10,000. We don't really have a total rate, total time. We don't put 2 years because it's just still in 1 year. So we don't really ever put totals for these two. But we do have a total interest earned, and that's the $850. The nice thing about these, setting them up like this, is our two equations that we're going to use, because we're doing a system of equations, are your equation for principal. So our amount in 8% plus the amount in 10% equal the total. So we have x plus y equals the 10,000. And then our interest, we can say, is 0.08x plus the interest earned in this one, so plus 0.1y. equals the 850. We can use substitution or elimination here. I actually prefer elimination when possible, so I'm going to go ahead and do elimination, and since we have this great invention of calculators, it makes it easier for us. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate y here. I want to eliminate my y. So in order to eliminate, I want these to have the same number. They can be opposite, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top by negative 0.1. And I'm doing that so I get opposites here for a y. So when I distribute, I'm going to get negative 0.1x minus 0.1y equals, I'm sorry, I put a y here, and I'm just multiplying by negative 0.1, not negative 0.1y. Multiplying by 0.1 moves our decimal over one place, so this is negative 1,000. This I'm not doing anything to because I'll have what I want, so I have 0.08x plus 0.1y, not 8 again, 0.1y equals 850. Now if you need a calculator here, that's fine. We can actually think through this. This is negative 0.1 plus 0.08 is going to be negative 0.02. These are opposites, so they eliminate. That's what we wanted. Equals negative 1,000 and positive 850 will give me negative 150. And now to solve for x, we're just going to divide by negative 0.02. And 150 or negative 150 divided by 0.02 is 7,500, which means x is 7,500. That was the amount in the 8% account, which we can figure out y a couple different ways. They all actually mean the same thing, but if we took 7,500 and put it in the, or is in the 8%, what's left to put in here? It's 2,500. And I actually would like you to write this out so we're not just have x equals y equals, so $7,500 is invested at 8%. And $2,500 is invested at 10%. I don't know, for some reason nowadays people are writing 7,500 and putting the dollars after. Do not do that. That is not correct. So $7,500, dollar sign goes first at 8%, 2,500 at 10%.